Welcome to today's The Autonomous chapter event on safety and society, focusing on the impact of autonomous driving on society, urban mobility and sustainability.
We, the Autonomous, we see us as the enabler, as the facilitator. We need people like McKinsey, for example, to jump on the topic and say, okay, you know what, I have solutions here, I have ideas, and I bring other stakeholders into that boat, and we discuss and we formulate a common understanding.
Robo-taxis, or especially robo-shuttles, which carpool drivers, can also be another ingredient to optimize low emissions in the cities and increase mobility.
If there is kind of a regulation in place, if there is a consensus toward what platforms should be implemented, that will enhance the perception of a technology by the public.
The cities and municipalities have a very important role, and we see in our stakeholder discussion and so on that we have to empower cities to be able to use data that they have, to use their knowledge about mobility and about the condition.
What I think the additional contribution of Autonomous could be that you have a much more resource-efficient system, as was already mentioned before. Currently, we use only the cars in 1% of the time.
Less cars, which are more efficient, which are more efficiently managed, will drive these miles. So overall, in my opinion, I think we drive more miles, but we will have less traffic and especially less pollution.
You have several things that go together, right? On the one hand, you have autonomous, you have the transition to electric, to full battery, you have the transition to circular cars. So if you put all of that together, I believe you can really make an impact regarding a fast transition to sustainability, and in particular starting with decarbonization.
The public transit providers rather have the vehicles that are a bit larger and a bit closer to a bus today, and the mobility service providers or the platforms, the super apps, rather have the vehicles that are a bit smaller. It might also be that some cities will say, public transit, we don't want anything to do with it. We're going to give this to two companies. Like today, they are tendering out micro-mobility.
I think in terms of transportation, whether it's downtown or to an airport, I think that we will see less parking, more vibrant cities that are able to devote more of that space to productive use, because people will be accessing downtowns using, whether it's a shared AV platform or they're able to plug into transit using shared platforms.
For me, the weekend behavior, I would mostly see that part change, where it's much more based on shared and collective transit. And I'm looking forward to the part where when I walk the dog or walk around my house, there will be less cars and more free public space to enjoy.
Thanks to our experts, and especially thanks to our co-host McKinsey for participating and supporting our today's The Autonomous chapter event on safety and society, the impact of autonomous driving on society, urban mobility and sustainability.